While I was filming another video, I realized that I totally forgot to mention that this video, this first trimester must-haves, is your dog, is a collab with Kayla Benoit. I don't know how to say your last name, but it's a collab with her. Go watch her video. I'll put her link in the description. I feel awful that I forgot to mention it. I just kind of went right into the video. But I realized before I posted it, so that's good. So go check out her video too, and I'm so sorry, Kayla, that I did this. Today I'm going to do my first trimester must-haves, and I watched a bunch of these when I was first pregnant, when I first found out I was pregnant, and I took a lot of them to heart, but at the same time I was just kind of like, and I just kind of figured it out for myself. And that's what I'm trying to say to you guys, is that it just kind of depends on you and what you and your baby need depending on how your first trimester went. Let's just get into it. One of the first things I'm going to say, and one of the things that really kind of saved me, and I've talked about this before, is goldfish crackers. This is a huge one. This is a flavor blasted one, and I wouldn't recommend getting these ones. This one has like a powder on the outside of more cheddar, which I can handle now, but I can tell you, like, even 3 weeks ago I couldn't have handled it, so I just get the normal ones. But you have to be eating constantly in your first trimester, constantly. And I did saltines for a little bit, but it was too plain for me, so I went with goldfish and they were perfect. So I would highly recommend having goldfish at all times, whether you're at work or just sitting at home and you need a snack. They're not nearly as bad for you as like chips, but they have a lot more flavor than like saltines, and so I relied on these bad boys heavily. Second, I had a lot of these peppermint candies. I started out with these and I liked them a lot. Eventually I went into Jolly Ranchers because I was kind of just tired of like the one peppermint taste. So I went into Jolly Ranchers, and just kind of sucking on something really helped. But if I was feeling really, really nauseous, then these were the best, the peppermint taste. I do have a peppermint herbal tea that I only use like once or twice because I was just not really in the mood for drinking things. So I loved having these peppermint candies. This is like $2 at like Walmart. You can get them at the dollar store, but they will save you. So I would highly recommend having these for your first trimester. 3 prenatals. I went with the gummies for a specific reason. I hate taking pills. That's why I got pregnant in the first place, along with my first one when I wasn't really trying. That's why I got pregnant. I hate taking pills, and when you already feel nauseous, you don't want to be taking pills. The progesterone pills I take now, I have to force them down, and I take them right before bed because I couldn't handle taking them throughout the day. It just made me feel more sick. So I got the gummy ones, and these are actually delicious. They're the Spring Valley ones. I got them at Walmart. I think it's like $7 for 90 of them. It has DHA and folic acid. And I've been taking these since we decided to start trying. So I've had them for a long time, but you need to have prenatals, and I would recommend the gummy ones just because they were just literally a lot easier to swallow. So I like those. Anyway, I got a doppler, and I didn't get to use this until I was about, do you hear that? I have to deal with that every day. Scream. Anyway, you probably won't really hear it until 9 or 10 weeks if you know exactly how to do it. If you do get one of these, go on YouTube and figure out how to properly use them. This saved me. With my first miscarriage, that's when it happened. I had my first ultrasound, things were fine, it was measuring fine, and then I miscarried somewhere in there, and I didn't know when, and then I didn't actually miscarry until I was 12 weeks along. And so that time was like really sensitive to me. So having this around was a lifesaver. Anytime that I felt sick, or I didn't feel sick, anytime that I felt nervous or anxious, this saved me. Hearing my baby's heartbeat was the most amazing sound, and it just really soothes you. It makes you feel better. And so you can't use it until a little bit into your first trimester. Sometimes people don't find it till later. That's not a huge deal, but it saved me. So I would highly recommend getting this, whether it's for your first trimester or any time after. When you get into your second trimester, you tend to relax a little bit about your baby, but this, I can't recommend this more. One that I'm going to mention really quickly was Netflix. I'll put a little logo here. I was tired all the freaking time, but having something to watch constantly and kind of distracting yourself and just taking your mind off things and just helping you relax was really, really crucial. So, I mean, that's just a little blur I'm going to put in there, but I needed that in my first trimester. So last, but obviously not least, whatever, water. I got this when I first found out I was pregnant. I went out right away and I got this. I needed it. You have to have water. I was really awful at this and I'm still kind of not great at it. But one day I like sat up and like my throat was so dry and I was like dry heaving and it hurt so badly. And my husband was like, you're probably dehydrated. And I went online and I looked up like symptoms of dehydration in pregnancy and I had all of them. And I was like, oh, so if I just like hydrate myself, I won't have all of these problems that I've been having. And so I did. And like my whole pregnancy turned around. So like, drink water, save yourself the freaking misery. And a lot of women end up having to go and get an IV because you get dehydrated much faster when you're pregnant. You need a lot more water when you're pregnant. You're drinking a crap ton of water. So I would highly recommend that. But that's it. These are the things that I relied heavily on. Again, it does just depend on how you are with your pregnancy and the things that you and your baby need. But for me, these were all lifesavers and made it go a lot smoother, especially this guy. But I'll see you next time, and thank you for being patient with me in this rough time in my life. Bye.